Ladies and gentlemen, President Donald Trump has chickened out again, and he has paused his infamous Project Freedom. And as a result, right now, the Straits of Hormuz has no freedom. Now, this has serious implication to the oil prices and also to the stock market and the economy. Let's watch on and see what do I mean. And the most important point is what's going to happen next is at the end of the video. The Iranians means business. You send ships over, we will shoot at them. Not only we will shoot at the merchant ships, we will also shoot at the Gulf countries' oil infrastructure. Clearly, the Americans now being tested on their will they chicken out? My guess is they will, because Trump always chicken out. So you can see yesterday, I actually predicted that Trump would chicken out. Well, he chickened out faster than I thought that he would chicken out. Now, clearly, the stock market is roaring up. And to be frank, at this juncture, I don't think the stock market cares about the current oil crisis anymore. So what the market see right now is that Trump pauses the military operation, the oil prices soften, and the stock market continue to rally because the war risk is reducing. But the truth of the matter is that the oil blockade and the Straits of Hormuz remain being blocked. Global energy supply is still under pressure. So the current market right now is celebrating a pause of hostility, but definitely not a resolution. And of course, the stock market is also celebrating a powerful AI boom. Well, we know that the Straits of Hormuz matters to the whole world. 20% of the global oil and LNG supply pass through the Straits of Hormuz. And this is now day 60 plus since the straits have been effectively closed. And the world is suffering economically because of the fierce inflation, which I'll talk a lot about later. So, talking about Project Freedom, this is a bold mission by Donald Trump that lasted only for one day. So, the original intention of Project Freedom is to restore the freedom of navigation across the Straits of Hormuz by commercial ship, tankers, and so on. So, he leveraged all the US Navy, Air Force to try to provide a protective channel across and let ships go through. Well, within 24 hours, he paused it. The Iranians went all out against this Project Freedom, and as a result, Trump has to chicken out. So the Iranians hit back, right? So they not only fire at ships, they fired at US Navy, and they also fired at UAE massively. The UAE air defenses engaged many missiles, cruise missiles, and rockets and drones for 2 days. And one of their oil port in Fujairah, it was being hit. There was a huge fire. And surprisingly, the Iranians denied, okay, hey, we didn't fire anybody, we didn't fire UAE and things like that. So they deny responsibility. And by the way, the Americans also deny that, no, this is not a war. This is just, I don't know what it is, friction, okay? Yeah, so this is where both sides have quite a significant attack on each other and didn't agree that it's a war. So shots were exchanged at each other, rockets were exchanged, missiles and all this, but they are calling a war not a war. This is not a war. This is important. The naming, the nomenclature of this skirmish or conflict cannot be called a war, because once it's a war, then there could be escalation. And I think Trump has issue with Congress as well. The approval for continuing hostility against Iran, is beyond his presidential powers. So U.S. side, they destroy a couple of Iranian small gunboats and missiles and drones. The Iranian fires shots and warning shots at U.S. vessels. Commercial vessels were being hit. Both sides, threaten each other. Iranians rockets and drones hit at oil infrastructure. So this is not something that Donald Trump liked to see, and as a result, he chickened out. So Project Freedom achieved the following. 3 commercial vehicles managed to go through. Not bad lah, at least got 3, right? And the mission lasted for 24 hours, and there was zero shipping confidence, right? Zero. all the ships are not passing through. And more importantly, I'm sure the insurance company are not going to let it go as well. So they are not supporting this operation, and therefore right now, this is a operational failure. This is not uncommon. Trump chickening out, this is quite a common thing. And therefore, what Trump says is that this is paused for a short period of time. And he said that, oh, we have got great progress towards a deal with Iran. And US blockade of Iranian ports remain in full force. And well, I think the world doesn't care what he says. I think the world only cares that he played a game of chicken and he chickened out. So interestingly, within the American political circle, it's also very not aligned. So Secretary of State Mark Rubio has just briefed the reporter before Project Freedom was being called off. He says that, the wider war, Epic Fury, Operation Epic Fury has been concluded. Now the main focus is Project Freedom. Just shortly after he told a lot of reporters, Trump just announced, okay, Project Freedom also no more. So you can see they are not aligned as well, right? So the Iranians, on the other hand, issue a statement. So Ghalibaf, the Iranian parliamentary speaker, came out and just said that the continuation of status quo is intolerable for America. They cannot tahan anymore. This choke, this immobility in the Straits of Hormuz is untahanable, by the Americans, so they cannot take it anymore. So on the other hand, the Iranians just getting started. So right now, they are outrightly saying that, I know you don't have time. You cannot tahan, you have no patience anymore because your clock is ticking fast. We got all the time we want, okay? So Trump, you want to play a game of chicken, right? We will play with you, right? And we are just getting started. In a surprising announcement, Iran actually came out with a new authority, a new agency called the Persian Gulf Straits Authority, and is formalizing in a structure. Any ships want to go through the Straits of Hormuz must go through this Gulf Straits Authority. And I'm sure they are trying to make some money out of it, put up a process and things like that. So he basically says, you cannot pass because the American escort you. You pass through our rules, pay some money. Okay, we'll decide whether how much is it and when you pass through. Right now, the Iranians basically say that, victory this round belongs to them. They are victorious, and Trump retreated. They call it a victory, and they have a headline in their news say Trump backs down. So shame on you, Trump, okay? You want to fight, you fight all the way, like that, you're very loud, right? Now, unfortunately, all said and done, this is not a good news for the world because the inflationary fire, which is already burning, now will get even brighter, right? It's going to burn even worse. So right now, the US gas prices, their petrol prices, has just hit a high of $4.50 per gallon and set to go even higher. It has gone up by, I think, 30%. And the American inventory, interestingly, their oil inventory, gas inventory, and the distillates inventory are reducing by about 2 to 4% a week. And I thought that the US got a lot of oil and gas. No, their stockpile is also reducing significantly. So this is not just an Asia problem, which Asia, of course, is getting hit a lot, but this is also American problem. So I think Trump will realize that this game of chicken is going to backfire on him. Now, what about the stock market? Mr. Lu, where will it go? How can it be right now that we have got a big crisis in oil and yet the stock market is going up higher and higher? Well, guys, let's not forget, this is really a showdown between two competing forces. Number one, there is a powerful AI boom. And this AI boom is massive. Now, we're already seeing companies making a lot of money, huge amount of capex that pour into it. Earnings are beating record. And now with agentic AI, you could multiply your productivity by N times. And this is clearly a game changer. Unfortunately, inflation risk is going up and surging up higher and higher. And this is where everybody need to realize that, unfortunately, energy prices will cause a lot of other prices to go up as well. So what we are not sure is, ultimately, will the Federal Reserve increase interest rate? There's going to be a new Federal Reserve chairman. Will he be able to control the inflation, or he will cause the inflation to go even worse? All this will have implication to the stock market. I talked about it yesterday in my live stream, but in a nutshell, if the inflation risk were to go up and the Federal Reserve respond by increasing interest rate, then the market will have a negative reaction. The AI boom have a positive reaction. Who wins, who lose will determine where the stock market will go. We don't know. That's why we need to watch on. Remember, hit subscribe. You don't want to miss this part of the news. Right now, we are looking at a Trump chicken out moment again, not surprised. And the Iranians claim victory. And we are not sure what the outcome will be for the stock market, because there are two competing forces right now. But we do know that the economy is burning because of inflation, and that will hurt us a lot. So I will continue to watch this space very closely and keep everybody updated. So please continue to follow me, especially in my shorts and also my live stream. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tonight. Bye-bye.